What's up? Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a great day, long weekend, and Memorial Day, however you celebrate. It was not a holiday in Canada, so I was trading the TSX stocks, the Toronto Stock Exchange stocks, which were not the best to trade, to be honest. They moved really slow, and I was stuck in one position for like the whole day until the end of the day, and luckily was able to get out of it. But would not recommend these low volume tickers sometimes because nothing really moves. Anyways, let's go through some charts. We'll go through some dealer positioning right afterwards, and then we'll go through what the trade plan might be for today. I'm in no mood to chase anything. Like everything that I see here is pretty overextended. When I look at the SPY chart, you have a double top pattern rejecting 751.69, and this is all-time highs. Like I don't really have levels here. So what I ended up doing, frankly, was just drawing a line every $5. Like you'll see a line at 750, then 55, then 59, 60, whatever. And then I just took like a small 0.25%, I think it was. If I just draw this out. Yeah, like 0.5% basically. And just drew lines throughout the process because I think that's the only way I can track this right now until we discover where the levels of resistance are up here. If we continue going up, that is. I don't think we will necessarily, but we do have some hedges for Friday. The 740 strike in particular. If they go to zero, they go to zero, but they're really designed for downside hedging more than anything else. And if I extend this trend line a little bit from this low here on May 19th and go all the way up, this puts us at 760 effectively. So I don't think we have world peace. Last I checked, there were down in planes in the Middle East. No agreement's been signed. So can this party continue? Probably. Will it? I have no idea. So where my mind is right now, at least as it stands for ETFs and indices, is you are pretty topped out and you're pretty overextended. So I do think you're in for ideally a gap fill. I mean, that would make me pretty excited because then we'll end up down here. You set up a nice head and shoulder and then kind of go up towards 760 is the target that I got. But hey, if there's an agreement signed today, then even better. I think you'll get to 754, 78 by the end of the day, if not by the end of the week. I got 755 as the upside target for weeklies. So if you want to get those, get them. But, you know, you're pretty far extended up here. So I don't know if that's the right risk and reward. And I got 738, 736 to the downside if we end up getting there, which we actually might. The way that my mind goes is like this might set up a head and shoulder pattern and then you kind of come back down. But you also have the opposite as well, where you have a nice inverse head and shoulder. So if I look at it on the 4 hour, I'll show you what I mean. We have this nice inverse head and shoulder forming. So we'll see if that wants to go anywhere. It definitely did it here. So, you know, we saw this move up and kind of continue out of that flag. Whether that happens now or not, I have no clue. But I do think this is going to drop a little bit, at least around open. Ideally, we got a gap fill. If not, then c'est la vie. Who knows what's going to happen. But, you know, you are pretty far extended here from the close from Friday, even the post-market all the way up here. You're up like 1%, right? So no clue where that's going to go. If I look at the S&P futures, I was trying to like short it on Friday or Sunday when the market was open. I honestly got out of that position when I saw the strength coming in. I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to be able to get a short here. But this is at the top of the channel here. So kept bonking around that 7564 level on ES quite often. And it came back down, didn't undercut this displacement, which I'm still hoping for we get. We bounced exactly from the middle of that displacement and it kind of came back up. But there's no levels here, right? It's all-time highs. So where my mind is like you have a buy block here. You should, in theory, undercut a little bit and then kind of go up and set up that inverse head and shoulder. Whether that happens or not, I literally don't know. So that's where my mind is. And I don't want to, you know, buy anything, at least not calls in the short term. We might be able to scalp some calls at open. But you maybe have 15 to 30 minutes before the market decides to go in another direction. So you got to be really, really light on your feet and treat it like a lot on the first 30 minutes. And then I'll figure out what I want to play after 10 a.m. I hope we don't get the same repeat of like the last couple of days where it's just chopped after 10 a.m. until like 1 o'clock basically. But if it does, if I see like there's no volume, there's not enough liquidity to keep going up or even keep going down, then I'm literally just going to cut all the positions, even if they're red. And just hold on to cash as much as possible until probably like 12:45 is really where my mind is. So Qs, same story. I don't have any levels here. So what I'm trying to do right now, and I'll show you like how my brain works, is wherever there's relative equal lows or relative equal highs, I'm just going to mark them off as levels. And then I'll decide, if we come back and retest one of these areas to decide to get calls. If it holds, if it doesn't, then I'll get puts. You can clearly see like every, what is this? I just draw it out, but yeah, it's like 1.5%. Every 0.15% on the Qs at least, you effectively have a level. So does that keep going? Is that the reality moving forward? I don't know, but we are pretty far overextended. I have no issue not chasing. I'd rather not be part of that retail crowd that just chases calls right at open and then gets slaughtered at like 10 a.m. But, it is what it is. Micron, there's some shit going on with South Korea. Apparently there's something going on with Samsung. They're one of the non-union arms that's trying to deny the deal that's happening. So I do think you're about to break out on Micron as well. Maybe go towards 850 as a target that I got for the end of the week. If that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But again, I have no interest in chasing anything here. So I'm just going to be patient, wait till 10 a.m., see what the candle is like, and then decide if I want to get some calls or puts or whatever that might be. So we'll watch for the first half hour. I might scalp a couple calls, but again, treat them as lottos. I have no interest in chasing many of them. I think what I got by accident on Friday were these 750 calls. I only got 3 of them. It's a very small size, just as a hedge in case there was a world peace over the weekend. Doesn't seem like that's the case, but let's see what we get. I really hope the ES and S&P itself does a undercut and kind of go back up because it makes our calls cheaper. And puts by default are really expensive because everyone's trying to protect towards the downside. VIX got a nice move up. Now it's imploding. It probably does a double bottom, but the way that my mind is racing right now is like this displacement here will eventually come back to bite us. So I do think this is setting up for like an inverse head and shoulder. Probably does a double tap at 17 and it kind of goes back up from there. So that's what I'm looking at on VIX. IWM, let's go see what that's doing. We're above the premium zone that I marked out a couple weeks ago. And we're well above discount. So there's not a lot of liquidity up here. There's just the air is thin, right? So I don't know if we'll get the movements that we want necessarily until it comes back down, and then we'll decide if we want to get some calls. But again, same story here. Marking down the relative highs, relative lows. You got a pretty healthy gap below on basically like every ticker in the world. If I look at Tesla as well, like this is going to break out eventually. You're setting up higher highs, higher lows. I do think you're going to break out towards 450 pretty quickly, and 460 is the target that I got for at least this trend. Whether that happens this week or not, no clue. But again, I have zero interest in chasing anything. I'm going to take the high from there and just draw a little flag. And you'll see that, we're eventually going to break out of this tight range here. So it's getting tighter and tighter everywhere. I look at everything like Rocket Labs, RKLB, literally the same story. Getting very thin up here. STS getting very thin up here. Things that are moving are like HPE because they have earnings coming up. I might get some calls for this. We'll see how that goes. IBM, we had some pretty good movement last week, and then it sold off on Friday, just like everything else. Everyone's de-risking going to the long weekend. But I do think that this is going to hold. This area is going to hold in theory, and then you'll have a nice inverse head and shoulder to kind of go up and up. So that's what I'm looking at there. UNH and healthcare in general is my top watch. Didn't want to get any calls on Friday, and this is accumulation. This looks messy as hell pre-market. So let it come back down, probably test this area at 384. And then I'll probably get the 395s or maybe even the 400 strike for 1 or 2 weeks out from now. So that's what I'm looking at there. Palantir, someone asked me about a lot of accumulation. I don't think anything's really happening here. You're basically buying calls here, you're buying puts here, and then just selling it when it comes back down. And let's see if this area holds, because if it does, you're likely to go towards 146.50 in about 2 weeks. If I measure the move to see like how far we got from this bottom to this high, that's about 2 weeks there. So I think it's the same story. You'll have another 2 weeks before you get to 146.50. So I'll probably be doing something like this and kind of go from there. Google, I don't know what the hell's going on with Google. It's just accumulation after accumulation. So let's see what happens there. On the 4 hour, it looks pretty good though. So if I look at Google on the 4 hour, you have a potential inverse head and shoulder. So let's see if it kind of reclaims the 390 area. And you're going to go towards all-time highs. 430 is the area that I'm looking at. I don't even think that's anywhere here. Yep. That's going to go towards all-time highs. Apple, same story. 4 hours looks pretty good. And then CRDO is another top watch for me. It might be breaking out of this all-time high. CLSK, someone asked about CLSK. I don't know anything about the sticker, but on the chart it looks pretty good. Let me just go look at the daily really quick. Oh, I did set this up some time ago. Inverse head and shoulder, that played out nice. But a head and shoulder that dumped, nice. And then this ended up not working out the way that I expected. You had a double top there, so cool. Maybe this flies. But again, it's getting really tight here on the daily, so let's see where that goes. 4 hours looks pretty good for a continuation. I'll just take this low, which is also a relative equal low from there. And let's draw a simple trend line. Right now, we're rejecting that trend line on TLSK. Let's see if it comes back down. And if it does, hammer some calls in this area. If it doesn't and it flips this trend line, you're likely go towards 23.5 pretty quickly. So that's what I'm looking at there. Let's go see what BTC is doing. Accumulation, I call this a head and shoulder pattern like over the weekend. You also had a double top, triple top, whatever. And then this head and shoulder pattern played out. So I think it's going to roll over. And if that rolls over, literally like everything else will go with it. So let's see what we get. Micron is holding up really well so far. SK Hynix. Hynix probably not doing so well. Actually, it's doing pretty good, surprisingly. But it's going to roll over. EWY, I think I called this back in like December. I'm going to be selling most of the comments that I have. Like I've done pretty well with them. We're at all-time highs, double top here, so I'm a bit cautious. And I'd rather sell into the strength here than buy calls or buy comments at this point in time. I have a long-term position on this, but I'll probably just wait until it comes back down to decide what I want to do with it. In terms of the dealer position, let's go look at that. Decent volume at the 75.25. That's basically where we're going to open. And you have a lot more downside risk, to be honest, than upside. So let's see what they want to do. But I did see the 76.25 lit up for Friday, last Friday. So let's see if we end up going back here by the end of the week, if we get some world peace or not. One thing I do want to mention is I'm going to be taking some USO calls that are at the money or near at the money, because this area is holding up really well, and that makes me worried for the rest of the market. So I'll probably get some USO calls for weeklies just as a hedge. I'm looking at the 150 strike in particular, maybe the 142 if they're relatively inexpensive. But I'm suspect whenever oil holds up like this, and it's filled that gap already. So, you know, there's more upside there in theory than there is downside. So that's what I'm looking at. And we'll just watch what the market does the first 15 minutes. Maybe I'll do some lotto calls at open, see where they end up, and then decide where to go. But as it stands right now, you have a lot more downside volume. And this will change, obviously, in the first like 20, 30 minutes. And then we'll see where that ends up. So keep it on your radar. George surely has good entries and exits for us. So I'll just be watching that to see what I want to do. But again, let it bottom out. And I'll be doing the 3K account, yes, this week. I got to wait a day, though, because my funds have not settled. I set up a brand new account on Friday. I deposited money into it yesterday, and it's like, oh, you got to wait 24 or 48 hours to use it. I'm like, fuck. So now I got to wait until either tomorrow or Thursday, whatever it is, to actually play it. I'll still signal as best as I can, but, you know, we should not be in a hurry to do much. So let's see where that goes. And let me just basically sell all the calls that I have on the S&P 500 because I don't want to do much. No, I wish I could hack Robinhood. I'm just not that good. Oh, Micron is up 200%. Jesus. I'm going to sell it too. That was a buyback cheaper on Thursday or whatever that is. And if anyone's selling BlackBerry calls with us, you're up 203%. Please take the win or trim them. I'm going to sell basically everything at this point in time. So let's see where that goes. And that's what I was worried about. You're going to get that undercut, probably dumps that open towards this 748 target. Let's see if that holds. If it doesn't, then we'll get some puts. If it does, we'll get some calls. And again, treat everything like a lottery because I don't know what's going to happen. But I like the 752 strike. If that does anything, it does anything. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. I'm more in the mindset of like, I don't need to chase every dollar. I don't need to like get every single dollar out of the system. I just want to make it worth my while. And Micron is going to fly towards 900 probably pretty quickly. I'll set up a position on the 880 strike I really like. Maybe the 900. It's pretty cheap at $1,000.
I'm not going to sleep.
Yeah, put your kids to sleep, y'all. We gotta focus up here. Market is open. $75.20. We open right there. Okay, has this change? Nope, not at all. Give it a few minutes. Dealers will reposition in the first 15 anyways. Everyone's gonna be taking a profit right at open. Right at open, they will take profits. 7470p. I actually like those. They're pretty cheap at 240. I might just get like one of them. Oh, those put premiums just jacked up like crazy. All right, let's get one. We'll see what happens. I have these hedges anyways, so we'll see where that goes. 7450. Interesting. Good volume on both sides. I just don't know which side's going to win, so we'll just kind of have to sneak around a little bit. It's also a short week, so don't oversize, please. It's gonna be chaos. Ooh, let's go see what the 7625 is for the end of the week. So that's pretty cheap. Might just set up a starter. It's only $560. Honestly, it might be good risk and reward for the 7625 for weeklies. And sell that by like tomorrow or Thursday at the latest. Damn, Micron's moving crazy. My worry is not the undercut necessarily, it's a chop. I saw this on Friday with some of you where you just oversized and then some screenshots of like, hey, I'm down 20K. I'm like, well, Friday before the long weekend, you're oversizing when there's no volume. Yep, that's suspicious for sure. Why is my order not filling? Just let me sell my thing and get the hell out of the way. Damn, Micron. Jesus. All right, it's going to reject this. It's going to come back down. It's all good. All right, if you got the puts with Princess and Night, you're up about 20%. I'll just watch until 10 a.m. see if we bottom out or not. I like this pattern on Micron. I love it when this happens and you just hold the middle of this displacement. Maybe you do an undercut and then go up. But I do think it's a good call entry towards 900 on Micron. See how that held and just kind of should start going back up soon. We'll see where that goes. Okay, up 25% on these puts. The pain of my existence for the next month while I'm pouring this 3K account is going to be the lack of unsettled funds, unfortunately. So we'll see where that goes. And Nokia calls are up a breezy 627%. I've sold most of them at this point in time. I just have like 2 runners left. But if I look at this, you're up like 635%. Look at that. So congrats if you took it with us. You went from $100 per contract to $15. So, or sorry, $7. Nice. I don't like the divergence between SPY and SPX right now. This is trying to flip. This is not. Someone's lying. Someone here is lying. I shouldn't know who. And in USO, you got a nice inverse center shoulder just formed. So this will probably go back up. 7510 calls. What? Oh no, puts. Okay, I'll wait. Yeah, he said 7510p. Okay, we'll wait. 770C. Who the hell's buying that? Oh, it's not much volume though. Action, wait. All right, we'll wait, buddy. We'll wait to see where that goes. Oh, while I'm here, USO calls are probably pretty cheap. If I got them for Friday, $280, not bad for the 140 strike. Good hit. The thing that worries me right now is the strike, the 7490. Why is that lit up? No volume though. 2 million shares, not much. Yeah, IWM is going ham, but it's that same topping point. So let's see where that goes. What I might do as a lotto is get some SPY calls, the 752s at 70. I'll probably get like 5 of these, see where that goes. I really don't think this is going to hold, though. That's my fear right now. I don't think this is going to hold. I'll just draw a little line right in the middle of this displacement, even though small. But I have no point of reference because this is right in the middle of this, and there's nothing before that, so. Let's see where it goes. Wow, Micron's going to go for it, isn't it? Market's only been open for 10 minutes. We have lots of day ahead, so just be patient. See how that put premium just increased? I don't know if anyone can see it. Let's see if they start buying the 7500s. If they do, we're in for some pain. You'll see the orders come through. Oh, I should have got this in 100 puts. Whatever. See how they're starting to buy those, like slowly? They're accumulating towards downside. Let's see if that goes. Oh, close puts. Okay, well, you might be right, dude. I don't want to take the L on those. Or should I just wait till 10? I'll just wait till 10. Wow, 7530. Nice volume. 7530s are pretty inexpensive at 880. We'll wait. It's not really doing much though. These are up 5% if you want to scale out or take the win. If 20 breaks, like we get volume above this, I'll just cut the puts. But I really don't want to chase it. I really don't. I'll wait till 10. Yeah, the SPY spread is tight. I really like that. You're up 12%. The downside with this is like it's not 10 yet, so I gotta wait. I was watching to see if they start selling the 30s or buying them. SPY's got the 752 calls at, what is it, $68. So not a lot. I just want to see the 15-minute candle just to see where that goes. And if this area holds, they're holding that trend line, so I'm optimistic that upside works out, but not a lot of volume after this long weekend. The thing that's worrying me right now is all the downside here. It's starting to get lit up. Decent 7530 support, or volume on the 7530s. Let's see if that goes anywhere. 40s have some bids. 10s, not a lot of volume, but then just dies off. What I'm going to do is set up a starter for the 7625 calls. They were like $500 this morning, so maybe I'll just wait till it comes back down. You're up 20% on these calls. You should probably take the win, to be honest. I don't know if we're going to get 100 today. We'll see. I'm going to keep that downside hedge, but I'm going to sell the calls here on SPY. Looks like it's just going to go. Yeah. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to get the 75.25s for Friday. Look how they're selling them, though. Look at that volume, too. I'm suspicious why they're selling these. Makes no sense to me, but what do I know? I think it's going to dump. IWM's going. I'm going to sell 3 of these. How about that? I don't know. IWM, I feel like it's going to retrace down a little bit more. Let's see. You're well almost at the call wall there. Just draw a line in the middle of this so I know what to track. Actually, it's a bit lower. It's like right here. Okay, 40% on SPY calls. You should really take the win. Call what? It's 7,550, maybe. I just know as soon as I buy a call, it's just going to go reverse on me. Do I want to chase it up here? Probably not. Let me look at the 60s because they're pretty cheap. Got like 2 of these at 290. I just know. As soon as I bought those, I was like, this is going to reverse, isn't it? Okay, we'll wait till 10 and see where that goes. Yeah, I don't like being bearish. I make the most mistakes when I'm bearish, to be honest. I might just keep the 470s as a downside head, just in case. And then I'll see if I want to add to these calls. It's messy as hell. There's no, I don't have a good read on this right now. Neither does the market. Market's like, what do we do? Good volume on the 530s though. And the 575s, who's buying those? 550s? Okay, there you go. Resistance, finally. It's identified an area that we should scale out of calls. Great, I'll just watch that then. Again, the downside is there's no volume, so we can't really do much. And the one thing I'm worried about is the 1005 algo. So if I go back to the charts and just look at the 1005 print, every single day except for one, I think it was, some messery happened at 1005. You come here, bear trap, 1005 hits, and then you just like ride up the entire day afterwards. You come here, 9:30 opens, 1005 hits, right there. Compression candle, go up, right? And then if I go back another day here, let's go look at this one. 1005 hits, what happens? Compression candle, boom, reverses down. So that's what worries me right now is that 10 o'clock algo. We're going to see it in 10 minutes anyway, so. If you got fill in the calls and you're up and you're still green, please take the win because I do think it's going to reverse down pretty quickly too. There's that 10 a.m. algo kicking in. IWM is going though. That's suspicious. Why is that going up? Yeah, but I don't know. Now I just wonder if they're going to double tap this displacement and just go up from there. Yeah, on the flip side, the puts are coming back. Might have just been early. Wow, they held it so good there. Okay, we'll watch for 10 more minutes, see where it goes. 7470 would be good, in my opinion. That puts us right here into this displacement. which is all the way from back here, May 14th.
I'm sitting in the 75.20s from that little hover at like 10:30 to 11.0.
Nice. I like that.
Or 75.20s, excuse me.
Puts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
But, yeah, it was stalling out and those volume bars were ripping up.
They're buying the 20 puts, though, so.
Yeah, tough read, though. I sat for 20 minutes before looking at anything.
Yeah, this is what happens every day open after a long weekend. I'm going to keep the calls on SPY, though, just because it's fun. And then I might just get a USO head just in case. I'll get the 140 strike for Friday. See if I can get filled. Oh, whoa. These premiums just jacked up. What the hell? I'll do a starter and then I'll add to it if I feel like it. If IWM flips a call wall, I'm cutting the puts. Yeah, USO's about to pump up as well. See, someone's lying here. I don't know who it is. Like, USO's moving up. Everything else is moving up. What the hell's VIX doing? Is that moving up? VIX is moving up? One of these is a liar. I just don't know who.
Pounds moving up? They're all moving up.
Yep.
860 is crazy. That's fun.
Someone is fucking lying. I just don't know who. Micron. Oh my god, what a play. Yeah, see that dump? Okay, let's see if it holds this area. If it does, I'll add to the calls. If it doesn't, whatever. Rejected the call wall. Nice. Let's see if this area holds. Yeah, see that 10:05 algo every single time. Every single time this happens.
Yeah, solid. Nice dump there.
All right, 7470 calls are coming back. If you want to take them at break even, feel free. I'm going to hold the calls. Whoa, what the hell just happened? Yo, they're going to buy this up. They're going to buy it up. I just know. I changed my bearish stance. It's not going to dump anymore. It's going to go up. Okay. I see the vision. I see the vision. This is a liquidity grab. Yeah, you can always get the puts that I got at a discount by 20, 30% every single time. Whatever the play is that I get, you can usually get it at a discount. They're going to buy it up. Do I want to buy more calls? I already made money on them, so maybe. Maybe I'll buy 5 more. Watch, if they start buying the 530s, which I think they will pretty shortly, it's going to fly. Which one of you is lying, though? Is it oil, VIX, or the indices / ETFs? One of them is lying. One of them is for sure lying. Yeah, I think we have 0 dated calls for Mag 7 today. Look at Tesla. Yeah, 0 day because of the Monday holiday. Jesus, Micron's not stopping at all. Holy crap. I knew that was going to happen. They bought that up. I think I added those calls. Look at those buys coming in on the 7530 calls. Yeah, I just got these puts. Da, 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 no, 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 no. Ba, 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 ba. 7530C at 1000. What did I get? The 7560s? 75.30s look pretty good. If I had to sell funds, I would buy those at 1,000 or whatever that was. Come on, 10 a.m. Algo, flip it. Flip it. Turns out oil was lying. Anyways, good hedge. Oddly enough, those USO calls that I bought, they're up like 5%. Oh, weird. Maybe they want lower. You could do a straddle if you wanted to. I think it's going to flip. Because we got a nice move up from that displacement, so I think it's about to go. Kind of want to add another one at 2. Oh, I should probably write this in the Discord. Watching 10:05L go right now. Would be saying 729C on Qs look good. Probably. Nice volume on this move. It's about to flip and go towards 75.30 straight. Can do 7540C at 640. These premiums just juiced up. Okay. Glad I got the puts when I did. These are up 20% again. You know what makes me nervous is why are the USO premiums going up? Look at this, it's up 6%. But this is up 20%. Who's lying? Who? Someone's lying, I just can't tell who. All right, we'll watch the VIX as well. VIX is rejected, so that's kind of nice. And I'll put IWM here, because that's usually leading now. I'll put IWM here. I'll put VIX down here. If this flips 290 on IWM, I'm just going to add to the calls, the 560s. Okay, 10 a.m. algo, what are you going to do? You're going to hold it, aren't you? It's going to hold. I'm just going to add one more. Fuck is going on with USO? Why is that going up? There's an inside bar. I don't like that either. Why is that going up? I don't get that. Why is that going up and this is holding at the same time? What did you get, Sean? What was that? Was that like a Tesla call? Oh, ASTS call. Nice. Low-key ASTS actually does look pretty good. Yeah, it's above the 110 call wall. Okay, it's going to fly. I wonder if USO is the one that's lying. Oh, yeah, ASTS was a pricey bastard a couple weeks ago. See how IWM's going to flip that call wall? As soon as it does, this is going to fly as well. I'm glad I added to the 7560s at 2 because we're up a little bit. Just flip it. Come on. Go, go, go. VIX, nice rejection there. This looks like it's about to roll over. Okay, we might be good. Let's just watch a 10:05 algo and then we'll just end the stream because I don't know what's going to happen. 10% on the 7560s if you got them at 2. We were up to 220. SPY calls are up almost 30%. By the way, if anyone took that lunar leap with me, you're up like quite a bit. I only have one runner left, but nice 600% return there as well. If anyone took those from like 2-3 months ago or whatever that was. No. I'm not touching Microsoft. I hate that stock. It just never works for me. Whenever I buy anything on Microsoft, it just goes the opposite way. Let's see what the Microsoft premiums are like. 1 second. MSFT. That's all right. MSFT. If you get the June 18th calls, the 430s look pretty good. A lot of open interest on those. Same with the 420s. I like the 430s better personally. The risk and reward is probably nice. Okay, we gotta decide who's lying here. Is it USO, VIX, or the indices? 450, 626. Yeah, you might be right actually. There's a lag between IWM and SPY and SPX of like 5 minutes probably. Like when this goes, this comes back in afterwards, like 5 minutes later. I just don't know who's lying here. That's the thing. Somebody's lying. I just don't know who. Still green on the SPY calls at 30% here. So you should probably take the win. I think Marvel has earnings this week. Might do some lotto calls. Okay, one more minute, and then we'll know which way this is going to go. Okay, call premiums increase. That's nice. 772. See, who the hell's buying that for June 18th? Bullish, yep, bullish. Whoa. 7565, crazy. 550s, yep, I can see that. Not a lot of volume. Might just be a long weekend type of thing. Algo's decided up. All right. Well, I'm just going to hold these calls and see where they end up. I'm going to hold these as well. You're up 31%. Yeah, volume's pretty bad. I agree. Long weekend kind of does that. It's slowly increasing, though. Went from like 2 million shares to 5 million, so double the volume, but not double the price action. All right, price action stalled. I'm going to go make a coffee. I'll cut the stream and watch it just like go up in one direction or another. Looks like the algo's on full buy mode, buy the dip mode. Just be mindful of the 75-10 puts that they're loading up on. Might take a while, but you got much more volume on the upside, 25-50s and 45. So those two outweigh these puts here, at least for the time being. So we'll see where it goes. I'll be back later in the day. I'll throw some signals in on the SPX intraday channel. The 75-40s at 640, you're up to 710, 730.